please give a warm welcome to our guests from Hamilton.
Thank you.
Come on up. Thank you. Wow. Standing room only. This is crazy. Everybody has been super excited about having you guys here. Like, we bring in a lot of Broadway shows into the Talks program here in the office, and everyone always asks me, when are you doing Hamilton? When are you bringing in Hamilton? And now finally, today is the day. Thank you all for being here again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's just kick it off. Like, let's go down the line. Start with James here. Tell us who you are. What do you do in the show?
I am James Monroe Iglehart, and I play Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson.
Hi, I'm Lexi Lawson. I play Elizabeth Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Anthony Lee Medina, and I play John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton.
Hi, I'm Joanna Jones, and I play Peggy, Schuyler, and Mariah Reynolds.
Hi, no, I'm kidding. I just gotta ask real quick, just to warm this up here. How much of American history did you all actually know before getting into the show?
Oh, no.
Well, speaking from a kid from who graduated in 1992 in the wonderful American school system, I knew that George Washington might have chopped down a cherry tree. I knew that Martin Luther King had a dream, and then they let us go. I mean, we knew some of what it was, but when you get into something like this, you start learning the crust of a brother. And so we learned the crust of some of the guys who helped make this country great. So we knew the overview hero look of our country, like Thomas Jefferson, third president of Louisiana Purchase, but we never knew like cool things like him and Sally, his beef with Hamilton, things like that. So when you got into this show or even learned about this show, it made you just want to like go read about other people. It made you want to read about Andrew Jackson and him just shooting people just because he felt like it. It made you want to go read about other folks that made our country what it is and just learn that they were real people too, at least from my point of view.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm about the same. I mean, like, I remember U.S. history was a class. I took it, but it kind of disappeared after high school, and then it came back when the show came. I started having to figure out what happened and why we're here, and I'm still learning things every day. I'm like, wait, what did he just say?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Personally, I knew about Aaron Burr only from the milk commercial.
Yes.
From when
There was a commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not remember this. No.
You're gonna have you're gonna find out that some of the people in our cast are a little bit younger than me. So there was a milk commercial.
Right.
And the guy had his mouth full of cookies, and he was supposed to answer a question: who shot Alexander Hamilton? And he goes, Aaron Burr. And they go, I'm sorry, I can't understand you, Aaron Burr. And that was the joke, because none of us knew who he was.
Leslie redid that commercial, didn't he?
Yes, he did the young person.
see.
He did the remake of the original commercial.
Okay, well, I didn't know that was a thing. 28, okay.
We teach
For those of you in the
all
room who don't know, there you go. So how did each of you get connected to this production, to Hamilton in the first place?
Go ahead, Joanna.
Well, I had the opportunity to see the show a couple of years ago. I didn't know a whole lot about it at all. I was living in LA and I was in New York auditioning for something else, and I've known Leslie for several years, and I was like, hey, I'm staying across from your show. And he was like, okay, here's some standing room tickets. And I just walked in with no idea what was about to happen and just experienced the whole thing. And my mouth was just agape the whole time, and I was weeping through the last 20 minutes of the show. And so that was my first sort of introduction.
Is it on Broadway or at the Public?
On Broadway.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm actually really new to the show. I've only been on for about 3.5 weeks. So.
And killing it.
And
Every night.
Oh, she's great.
So when I saw
amazing.
it 3 weeks ago, it must have been your second day or
Probably, yeah.
That was wonderful. I mean, so I guess the rest of you real quick, how did you get connected?
I started going in for it when it was the mixtape, before the Public, and then at the Public,
time
and
ago,
the only thing we got was my shot. So we had that I Imagine Death So Much It Feels More Like a Memory, and everyone just did that rap for them. And then I didn't know what it was, and then it was transferred to Broadway, and everyone was like, there's a guy that looks like you, who has the same name as you, and you're gonna play his part. And I was like, okay. And then I spent an obscene amount of money on a ticket, like right after they opened, and I had like 4 cocktails before it started, and I had no idea what was gonna happen. And then I just wept for 2.5 hours, and then, and then I was like, this is gonna be my Broadway debut. And cut to like a 1.5 years later, and here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And then what about the two of you?
Loaded.
Yeah, no, my story's so long, so I'm like trying to condense it all. I saw this show right when it opened on Broadway. My friend Morgan Marcel was one of the dancers in it at the time, and I also knew Lynn from Heights, and so when I saw it, it was standing room. It was sold out. At this time, standing room was even hard to get, and my friend and I saw it. I was living in LA at the time, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to do this show. And I stopped doing theater because I suffered for a long time from anxieties, like severe anxieties on stage. After doing theater my whole life, all of a sudden I got anxieties in 2011. And so I stopped, I moved to LA, and when I saw the show, I was like, I have to do the show, I have to figure it out, I have to face my fear. So I started preparing for the show before I even had an audition. About 6 months before I even got the call, I put myself on tape just in case they weren't going to see me, and it went from there. I felt so connected to the show. So
wow.
Yeah.
Mine's a little long too, but I'll try to keep it short. I've known the guys who created the show for many years. I'm part of a group called Freestyle Love Supreme with Lynn, Chris Jackson, David Diggs, and a couple other brothers. It's an improv hip hop group. And when Lynn was creating the show, he did this concert at Lincoln Center, and he asked me to be Lawrence Mulligan. So the first guy to do Lawrence Mulligan in public, Lawrence Mulligan. I was like, the first to do Hercules Mulligan was me, and so it was me, Mandy, Chris Jackson, Utkarsh, all these other guys that Lynn has around him, and we did the show, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, but then Aladdin happened. So I was like, great, okay, cool, Hamilton's Hamilton, I'm in Aladdin, great. Then all of a sudden, while I was in my 3rd year, they were like, hey, you want to come back to the family? And I was like, really? Sure, what? That sounds like fun. And so that's how I got back in it, but I've been around it for a long time.
I imagine you're actually saying it like that on. No, sounds like fun.
No, seriously, that's what's really fun, because I didn't take them seriously. They were like, you want to be a part of the show? I was like, yeah, sure, you don't mean that.
And here you are. So you're probably, I guess, from the Broadway world, a little more well-known originally for originating Jeannie,
yeah.
Right? So did you bring any of Jeannie with you to these tracks now?
What's really funny is I guess I did, but it's not Jeannie that I'm bringing with me. I'm like this all the time.
Yeah.
So that silliness and that I'm kind of just, as my friends like to call me, I'm being a friend with me is like being a friend with a person who's in 3D. I'm that big all the time. So I kind of just brought that with me to Hamilton, and I was hoping it would work because everybody in Hamilton is so cool. Like,
Thank
the original
you.
cast and even this cast, everybody's so cool, and I am like just the biggest Toys R Us kid in the world. So
Yes.
I was like, I hope this works, and so far nobody's thrown an apple at me while I'm on stage.
Yeah, I thought it was wonderful, and actually I saw all of you, like I said, a couple weeks ago, but I had the pleasure too of seeing the original cast like years ago before the soundtrack was out even, and I remember like I turned to my wife and I said, I knew nothing about it, right? And I turned to my wife and I said, this is changing Broadway. This is going to redefine everything that we know. And so the roles became iconic, the show has become iconic. What was it like for all of you to step into these roles that were already so well known?
I have to say, for me, it was fairly challenging. I was the first replacement for one of the leads. I replaced Philippa Sue, who was fantastic in the show. And so I jumped into the show when it was still, it was like right after the Tonys. And so there was so much hype and so much pressure that I felt to have to take over for this role. And I was graced by our wonderful creative team, Tammy Kale, Alex Lackamore, who gave us the ability to find the show and find the roles ourselves, and that we didn't necessarily have to replicate or duplicate their character, but bring what we know, for me as Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton, to life. So that was really easing, for myself to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But we're all like one big happy family backstage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the hype is out in front of us, the audience, but when we're backstage, we're like all goofballs.
Completely.
Follow an Instagram story and you'll see some weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't fall.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the same situation. I think for all of us, probably. They were very insistent that we are not the people we're replacing, and that they wanted us to find the roles within ourselves. Yeah, I think my first day, he was like, "You're not Anthony Ramos. You're not Jordan Fisher. Don't be those people." It's like, okay, cool. I'll do a me version.
It's
Yeah.
a very nurturing,
You
like,
do it
supportive
well, so-
environment.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm pretty new to the show, but I would just say that it was welcoming and like a nurturing sort of directing environment from day one. So I really felt supported and able to sort of ease my way in and just bring myself to it as much as possible. And yeah, it's really wonderful.
Yeah, James, do they ever tell you, like you're obviously, you said you're just like this normally, right?
It's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Do they ever tell you like, too much, bring it back?
No, actually, the fun part is I remember actually having a very long conversation with David, and David said, "No, man, look, bring your swagger to the show." And I was like, "Are you sure?" He said, "No, man, look, bring what you do to the show." And the one cool thing, I do have a degree in acting, so I know when not to be an idiot. So so the first act, I am the Marquis de Lafayette. I am the 19-year-old Frenchman who comes here. I do that, and then I go on as Thomas Jefferson, and that's when I become the absolute just purple craziness that gets to go on stage. So fun just to to bring that to the stage. The one thing they allowed me to do was that I'm surrounded by tenors. Almost everybody's a tenor, and so I'm a baritone. So I was able to bring my baritone voice to it, and I think that's one of the things that the fans noticed was that, oh, Jesus Christ, there's a guy that's talking real low, and I have a whole different bass to my voice when I play Jefferson against Hamilton. So they liked it. It's cool. So yeah, they never told me to tone it down. They actually said, no, come up. I was like, but this is Hamilton. No, come on, bring it. And I was like, okay, fine. And so here we go.
That's awesome. Lexi, you mentioned that the show, like the character, or the show called to you. Did this role specifically like speak to you? When you put yourself on tape ahead of time before your audition, did you know this is who you wanted to be?
No, no. So I always play the like sassy kind of girl in all plays. So I was thinking it was going to be Angelica because I resonated. Not that I resonated, but it was easy for me to do. And looking back, though, when I did see the show, Helpless and Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story were the ones that stuck with me. Like there's something when you are aligned with something, it opens you up, and those two songs did. And so the reason why I didn't necessarily associate with Elizabeth Hamilton was because I was fearful of it. I was fearful that I wasn't good enough to do the role. And so that's why I didn't think that role was going to come with me. And even when I got the call that I was going to play Elizabeth Hamilton on Broadway, I was like, ah! And then I was like, oh my God, I can't sing those notes. I can't do that. And I started like talking myself out of it, which is a good lesson to learn because come nearly a year and a half later, and I could do it in my sleep. And that goes to show your growth and how you can grow. Even if you don't think you can grow, you can grow.
Right.
So now, yes, I can't imagine being any other role right now.
What is the Eliza project? How'd you get involved?
I got involved with that because Philippa Sue and Morgan Marcel started this project. What we do is that we go into Grand Wyndham, the orphanage that Elizabeth Hamilton started, and we take a group of kids that excel in their academics, that are interested in the arts. We take about 17 to 20 of them, and we put them in environments that can inspire them. So this year, I created, not that I didn't create it, I facilitated doing a workshop in a recording studio, the same recording studio that Cyndi Lauper and Bon Jovi and some really greats recorded in, so they had the experience to come in with Anthony and Q, and they taught them how to write and rap and sing a song. And when I tell you this song could be on the radio, it really could.
It's really
they are
great.
amazing. They did it all on their own. We also did a project in with dance. We had one of our Broadway performers, Lauren, come in and teach them that. Our third week, we had a cooking class with two of our people on Broadway as well, along with teaching them how to write a movie script in the movie writing room, and then we put on a performance for all their friends and their families to come see. And this year it was a packed house, which was so inspiring. I mean, I don't know where any of you come from, but we all have our own stories, right? We all want to share and tell our stories. But what inspired me with these children is that, for instance, one girl did not want to speak because she just wanted her mother to be around. And when she saw her mom walk in, her whole aura changed. She cried and she got up on stage and she started rapping, and she was inspired that her mom was there. And for me, I was always supported by my mother, so I don't know how that feels to long for your mother. And that inspired me. And so let me get back to what Grand Wyndham is. It's a place where children go when they're not really gelling at home, whether it's with their family or whether they're misbehaving. It's a place for them to get some extra nourishment, let's say. Mm-hmm. And so it really inspired me, this one. So yes, that's the Eliza Project. If you want to know about it, go to grandwyndham.org or go to the Eliza Project, Google Eliza Project, Google Eliza Project, and you can read more about it.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Happy you didn't say Bing. Well,
Go to Bing.
Is that a thing?
Bing it. That's what you do. Joanna, you were recently in NBC's Hairspray Live. The first in their series of the theater performance, or these live theater performances, actually had a live audience. What was that experience weird for you to be, like, it seems to me like it's a staged studio audience.
Yeah.
How was that experience to you compared to the live theater experience?
It's funny because, like, I mean, like, in theater, like, you're trying not to break the fourth wall and stuff, but with everyone just, like, watching you, like, they're taking your commercial breaks with you, and, like, they're seeing you stop the dance and be like, oh my God, that was so hard. Like, they see all of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And also their reactions are kind of influenced by, like, their hype man who's like, clap really loud right now and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it was exhilarating. It was cool. It was like they were a part of the show that we were creating, and I don't know, it was really fun.
Well, that's interesting to me. I always watch these, and I think it's weird to me because the timing is different. Mm. Because you can't wait for laughter because you're not hearing the laughter.
Yeah.
So props to you. Yeah. That's hard. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit to talk about, like, the subject of the show, or I guess the genre of the show is kind of it is unique and previously undefined, and it's knocked down walls, and, like, you could say we've raised the bar of theater or changed the bar of theater, whatever you want to say about it. And the show is basically an overnight smash hit the ground running, hasn't stopped since. I mean, what kind of barriers for you all personally, has it affected any barriers that you previously encountered, or how has it changed your careers?
I mean, before this, I was mostly seen as children, which is normal, but then just like I'm still doing it. But like I have played drug dealers and, like, just like straight off the boat Latin American kids, and I'm like, I was ooh, that's a mic.
It's a microphone.
I was born in New York. Like I am Puerto Rican and Cuban. I of course resonate with Latin American culture. That is who I am. But I shouldn't be boxed into this world where I can only play things that are straight off the boat or like some sort of horrible stereotype. This show was the first time I got to see people not only playing characters that were out of the norm what we get to play, but also taking on characters that aren't necessarily the race that, like, Philip and John Lawrence are not Puerto Rican Cuban.
Although you couldn't tell that to a high school now.
No, but that's the most amazing thing. I think that's the most beautiful thing is that, I don't know, for me, growing up, I didn't see a lot of me on television or on stage. It was a lot of these very specific, beautiful, blonde, tall girls and these Caucasian men that looked a certain way, and the roles weren't in existence for me. It didn't seem like there was a possibility for that. And it's so amazing now to, after the show, see all these kids come on stage afterwards and to honestly be like, I want to do this, and they see it as a possibility now. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that also, they see that not only on a performance side that you can be anything and still be a performer, but also, like, we're telling the story of our forefathers, and that now they can see that there is, I mean, we had Barack Obama, praise. But like they're seeing now that like this story of America is being told by people of color, and that they can be a part of the story of America, and they can go into politics and be elected, and it is possible. And I think that's the most amazing turnaround in my head, and I think worldwide, I don't know, countrywide at least.
I also think that the show, I've been blessed to be able to, for casting directors and for shows to see me as not just an African American man. So this show didn't do that for me, but what I enjoyed that this show did was this show it did, opened the mind of the theater-going audience.
Oh, yeah.
So the theater-going audience would go to a show and go, oh, I know what this is about. You're going to play this. And now they see this and they go, oh, my God. It was amazing. It was like someone had like taken the box and like just pulled the walls off. And everybody went, oh, you mean everybody can play everybody? You're like, yeah, everybody can play everybody. And I think it kind of put the audience on a level playing ground. I think all of us can attest. There's that moment where you look out into the audience where we're doing a song and you see the people that look like they would enjoy Hamilton, that wonderful family of color, whoever they are, that looks like they could enjoy Hamilton. And then there's the Beaver Cleaver family sitting right next to them, and the wife is literally like, I am not throwing away my and you're like, where did June Cleaver get like the 2 and the 4, and they're just on it. You're like, holy crap, this is for real.
Oh my God.
And I think it's amazing to see that group of people all of a sudden not realize they're listening to hip hop.
Right.
Like their child's music comes on, all of a sudden they're like, I get that reference. If you don't know, now you know. You're like, they heard it in Hamilton first, and now all of a sudden they know who Biggie Smalls is. It literally, the show literally within a couple of years broke this barrier down where everybody who came to Broadway went, oh, I get it. I get it now. And it's just permeating through the nation, and it's really, really fun to see because all of a sudden, shows have had, diversity for years, but I think it took this show, the way it was put together, the way it was written, the way it was cast. Sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle, and you can beat someone over the head with, you need to be diverse. You need to have diversity. You need to beat them, but they don't get it. And then all of a sudden, just seeps in real smooth, and they go, I get it. Sometimes you just don't need to hammer somebody with a definition. You just need to show them a good story and just put people up there, and then they go, bam. So I think that's one of those things the show did.
Yeah.
It's really.
Thanks.
You got something to add? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and that's it. Good night. Yeah, that's really interesting. I love the juxtaposition, like you were talking about, the Beaver Cleaver family and your stereotypical,
the hip hop heads.
Yeah, your hip hop dudes, right? In terms of the age difference, do you guys notice any difference in the audience feedback you get, like from the high school kids who come versus like your elderly?
Some people, they bring their 4-year-olds, 4-year-olds wrap it along, are like, ooh. And then you see, what really gets me every time is during Yorktown, when we, at the end, what's the last line that we sing at the end? Down.
Yeah.
but it's
the world turned upside down.
The world turned upside. It's one time, at least for me, where I can see the full audience.
Yeah.
And to see, the 80-year-old woman and man just, and it just, sorry, I keep slapping my mic, but it just touches me that it inspires me to see their face light up like that. I've never seen anything like that before. And then to see the 4-year-old do the same, it is so interesting and it is so beautiful. And so that always gets me every time. I always go to Mandy and say, do you see that guy, 4th row mezzanine on the left? I was like, he was so happy. So yeah.
We won.
Spoiler, we won. And he dies. Oh. Aaron Burr. I keep going back to that. Is there any? Sorry, I'm in my own mind right now.
That's okay. We are too.
Good. Is there any particular piece of audience feedback that resonates, that has stuck with you, that any of you have been told? like at the stage door or in like through this social media? Because you guys are so interactive with your
Yeah,
fans as well.
we get it from A to Z, I would say.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. I mean, I think the most amazing feedback we actually get is probably, I don't know if you haven't done one of these yet, the Eduhams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show is like a rock concert. There's nothing like it. We walk out and you hear bum ba da da, and it's like it doesn't stop. They're rapping along with us. They like sing the entire first verse, and then afterwards they like after the show. No, they're in. I think most of them are in. Then there's a couple that you're like they're just like not here for this. But afterwards, I think the most hilarious thing is there's like school buses outside to pick them up and bring them back to school. These kids run away from the school bus and start running towards the stage door. And and I think like the teachers are gonna go get them. No, the teachers run with them. They like, can you please take a picture? Oh my God, like we've been studying U.S. history. We did a whole Alexander Hamilton thing. And they not only know the musical, but they know the history of everything that's going on. So they're able to ask questions that I don't have the answers to. I'm like, I didn't read enough. I'm so sorry. But like, let me know. What do you got? Tell me the things.
It's on my track. I can't help you.
Yeah. I don't play. I just play John. That's it.
It's fairly inspiring to know that these kids growing up. I mean, from same what you were saying, James, is that in high school for me, my social studies class. I mean, sure, it was exciting, but and my teacher, my history teacher, was like really cool.
What class were you in?
No, I had a really cool teacher, Mr. Harvey. He was cool. He like played games and he
Shout out to Mr. Harvey.
Mr. Harvey.
Harvey.
But I think it's really cool and it inspires me and it's something that I can't necessarily relate to, or that these kids are writing us and saying like, I got an A in history last year because of Hamilton, and like history is cool, and like I'm like, wow, that's it's just, I'm sorry, I get inspired a lot from a lot of people, and so I just, there's a part of me that wishes I was them at this time, and because my growing up Broadway for me wasn't this, and so good on Lynn. Yeah. On him.
That's a good segue into my next question here. I don't know if any of you guys are aware, we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and honoring contributions to Hispanic Latino Americans in the U.S. culture.
Hola.
That's right. So the Google Cultural Institute recently launched an online exhibition featuring exhibits that showcase culture and art and influential figures throughout history of Latinos in the U.S. As artists, why do you all think it's important that we elevate these masterpieces, and not just Latinos, but all communities that have been historically underrepresented?
Because this country is a melting pot. You cannot have America without all of the Americans who were here, whether they came over here voluntarily or whether they came over here involuntarily. America would not be what it is without those pieces. There are things in America that we just take for granted. There are rhythms in our music. There are styles in our films. There are strokes in our art. There are sentences in paragraphs that have been written by people that we just take for granted, not knowing that they were created by a person of color, or take it for granted that they were not written by a woman, or take it for granted that they were not written by a poor Caucasian man. There are certain things in our country that are just inherent and have been there from the beginning, and for us to just gloss over it and say, oh, it's just America. No, we need to point out, no, this was a Latin man who did this. This was a Latin woman who did this. This was a black woman who did this. This was a poor white guy who was struggling to get that American dream he was promised. So he wrote something and that happened. One of the reasons we have to elevate those people so that we can educate everybody, so that those kids who we want to be inspired by can see, look, there was this Puerto Rican dude who lived in New York City who had a dream of being on Broadway. So because he didn't get the roles he wanted, he wrote a show called In the Heights. Then he turned around on vacation, read a book about a white man, and wrote a play about it and put himself in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we need to know that certain technology was created by these black folks. We need to know that mostly all of the great normal things, the way we treat people, were created by the women in the world that brought these guys up and taught them how to speak to people, taught them how to act like a man when the dad wasn't around. We need to elevate those folks. So why do we need that? because we need that. Because if not, we are taught this weird history of, oh yeah, these things just happen. No, America didn't just happen. Without those pieces, without those Latin folks, those black folks, those Asian folks, the Indians, without the women, without those people, that stuff wouldn't happen. And also, we also get into the point for those of us of color where we get just mad at white people for no reason. I'm sorry. There were white people who came over here who created this country, and yes, there were some horrible things that happened, but if they hadn't come over here first, we wouldn't be sitting at Google right now. So we need to elevate all of them, but we definitely need to elevate the folks of color because their story hasn't been told yet. And so every time we elevate someone else, we're letting some kids see, oh, I can do something else, which is also pushing something else in this country. We have Google because somebody thought of it. Some kid's gonna see this, see you, and go, oh, snap, I wanna make that. And they're gonna make something even greater 20 years from now. So we need to elevate these people so that this country can keep being the great country that it is.
One of my favorite lines in the show is, immigrants, we get the job done. Yep. And there's always a huge roar of applause. Does the reaction ever change from night to night, or is it always?
Okay.
Wait.
Sometimes.
I think I figured it out. Usually, it's a great big roar every night if we get the slap right. This is terrible to say. But everybody's so hyped about the line, but they also know that after we say it, immigrants, we get the job done. Smack. If the smack is off, the audience goes, Like, and 99.9% of the time, we get that bad boy right. And they're like, yeah, immigrants. But if we go, immigrants, we get they're like, yeah, oh, come on, man. Really, man. Get the slap right. And we know, like, they always know if it's down. They're like, James and Javi messed up.
Backstage, we're like,
There's no applause. That's what happened.
We messed up the slap. Damn.
So I think, we have just one microphone over here. If anybody in the audience, you have questions for anybody up here, please line up. Oh, we got one already, yeah.
Yeah, get it, girl.
Yeah.
No, I just thought of it when you said that. But thank you guys so much for coming and for the amazing work that you do. Super excited. But my question is, I know we were just talking about the lines, and there's so many incredible lines in this. I don't think I've ever memorized a whole album before. But what are you guys' all favorite lines from the show?
Oh.
History has its eyes on you. I think that is like a mantra in itself. Everything you do is you're being watched, and you're going to change things no matter what you do. I think that's the best, personally.
include women in the sequel. That's a good one.
I really like Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story. And at the very end of the show, we say, who tells your story? And I love looking out into the audience and just thinking about like what our purpose all is here and what we're going to leave behind and what people will remember us for and the good that we do and just to make the most of the time that we're on this earth. And yeah, I think it's an impacting line for me.
You're going to help me with this because I know the first part, I don't know the second part. Legacy. What is a legacy?
Oh.
Planting seeds in the garden you never get to see.
The reason why that line is cool to me is not because of the line itself. As a rapper, to put what is a legacy? A legacy is a
planting seeds in a garden
you never get to see. Lynn is one of the dopest lyricists in the world. And on the mixtape, he has a song with other rappers. And what's really fun to me is here are these guys who make a living being rappers, and here's this musical theater guy who eats them up in the rap. He's that line, the way it's written, the way the rhyme scheme is, the way it comes in, the fact that legacy and never get to see, legacy is a word, never get to see. There's a couple words, and he puts that together. That is one of the coolest lines in the show to me. Just as a writer, you're just like, that is just amazing. So.
Yeah, next question.
Hi. So you're doing this show, many days a week, for many weeks, for many months sometimes. I mean, it's obviously an amazing show, but how do you kind of keep, your job, interesting? Do you ever get sort of bored of doing it?
Well, number one,
Yeah.
there's literally, there's so many ways we keep our job interesting.
Yeah.
But number one, I think honestly the thing that keeps you on your toes and invested constantly is that
The double turntable.
The double turntable.
Yes.
No, but
You get used to that,
the
though.
turntable, yeah, that suddenly becomes nonsense. But the fact the show is hard, and because of that, there's a rotating cast. Like I was out last night. I'm probably gonna be out tonight. I have a messed up knee, but it makes you have to work with someone new that has a different interpretation of the role. So constantly, I'm looking. My mom is a different person sometimes, and I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do, mom? And this mom doesn't go to the left. She goes to the right, and she doesn't want to conduct. She just punches me, and like Cindy used to punch me, and like it keeps you invested. And then off stage we're a bunch of goofballs. There's no one serious in that building.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very serious.
Oh no.
Look, in a purple velour pimp suit, there was nothing serious about this man.
Yeah, and plus, we have a lot of lines to deliver. There's no way you can become, what is it called when
Checked out?
like checked out? Some people with they're doing 8 shows a week. It's like robotic for them. You can't do that
Not
with
this
this show. We must deliver. How many words are in our show?
And we
Ridiculous.
We get eaten up sometimes too. Sometimes the words start coming out, and then you start saying things about bananas, and you don't know what.
Right, it's happening.
It just happened.
I know.
Not me. Not one of any of us.
How dare you?
Not any of us. It wasn't us.
No.
Yeah, I think we're very alive and present, and
Yeah.
especially because we're telling a story that needs to be told. There's no room to become complacent.
Yeah.
Also, we have every night is a new audience.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have repeat people who come back, but most of the time it's a brand new group of people, and these people paid their hard-earned money to come see the show, so you really want to give them the best show possible. We know how we would feel if we paid $100 some odd to see a show. We don't want people coming in, just be like phoning in, like, yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just phone this in, I like how people are laughing because I said 100 some odd. They're like, wait, where'd you get your ticket from? Like, 100, that is not what I paid. Talk to my broker about that one. But you want to give the audience the best show possible, and so when those people pay astronomical amounts of money to see the show, you want to give them, everything you can. Because folks, don't get me wrong, they love us, but if you wait a year, you don't care if somebody's sick or hurt or something. You're like, I want to see Hamilton. It better be good too. So that's what we try to give them.
You mentioned Barack Obama came. Who is your favorite, I guess, celebrity or well-known figure that has come to see the show?
Oh.
James Comey, that was bizarre. It was like the craziest. Well, the craziest.
He is so tall.
Because, okay, so wait.
Oh my gosh.
There's this. No one tells us James Comey is here. There's this obviously just one tower in the house.
I gotta.
We're like, what is this?
Hold on, I'm sorry.
He's like this.
Oh my God, Lexi! No lie.
And I'm just like, I'm doing the $10. I'm like, what is that thing? And then I'm doing the show, and I'm like, whoever's sitting behind that person must feel so shitty because they're not seeing Hamilton tonight. It's not gonna happen.
No.
And neither is the other person behind that person. No one's seeing it.
Right.
But then I find out it's him, and then I spent the whole show thinking, what is he experiencing right now? Because it was right after he got fired.
Right.
So it was this like mind. I'm not gonna curse. Mind mess.
You already did.
I did?
Yeah.
Whoops. Mind.
Child in the audience, man.
Sorry, hi. It just messes my mind to like spend the entire time thinking like, what is he experiencing watching the show? And then Sanjay Gupta was there too. I didn't say that right. But then we had a conversation about what he experienced probably watching the show, and it was just like, God, like being in American politics, watching American politics, the history of American politics, oh God, it was awesome. So cool. That's my favorite.
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, ooh, jeez.
Go ahead.
Every time. We get a lot of celebrities and people. I don't know who. I really enjoyed when Hillary Clinton came. That was my second show. Whoa. Oh my God.
Yes.
My second show was her, and I was like, but she's fantastic, and she's amazing, and okay, I'm not gonna elaborate. But that was something else. That was something else and really special. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I do, but it's gonna sound really bad.
no.
I don't get tripped out by regular celebrities. I don't get tripped out by politicians. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I am a certifiable nerd. And I am a huge comic book nerd. I am a huge musical nerd. I'm a huge professional wrestling nerd. Yes, I said it. And the former United States WWE champion Kevin Owens came to the show. And I lost it. because he's an amazing heel / villain on the WWE, and everybody knows how horrible he is and what he does, blah, blah, blah. And he comes to this show with his wife, and he's the nicest guy, and he's like, oh my God, how do you do that? You're jumping off a table and you're going around a circle. And I'm like, you fell off a cage last night. What are you talking about? Like, I've met some of the guys before, and they come to Hamilton and they literally trip out. They're like, I mean, do you guys do this every week? I mean, how does it happen? I'm looking at him like, I literally saw you step on a man last night, and you are amazed by what we're doing. And so we just had a great nerd-to-nerd relationship. Like, he loves musical theater, I love wrestling, so we just had a great time. So people were like, James, call me. I was like, yeah, what's up, dude? You got fired, cool. And other people come like, oh, Shaq, what's up, bro? Hey, bro, cool. Then, WWE comes up, I'm like, I love you!
You have a favorite?
I don't know. I mean, I've only been there a few weeks. There's
yeah.
been some dope people coming through. Chance the Rapper, everyone was really
my
excited
God.
about him coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Shaquille O'Neal was there last night. That was fun.
Now, see, that's a big dude. Shaquille is bigger than James Comey.
Oh my God.
Shaquille is 7 foot, and Shaquille touched my hand, and literally the brother's fingers were here. He was like, it's like, you try to shake hands. When you try to be when men try to shake hands. I mean, we try to be cool. We don't be too bad. We're manly. We're like, yo, man, what's up? He was like, yo, dude. I was like, all right, then, cool. It's like you can't be like too manly around and be like, you're so big. I wish you could have seen it.
Dude,
all the dudes kept walking away going, do you feel small? I know I am 275 pounds. I feel little.
Oh my God.
That's good. Let's take another question here.
First of all, thank you all for coming. Very much.
Thank you.
My wife and I have loved to rap to the instrumental album, and it is hard between some of the rhythms and the amazing stuff Lynn did together. It is so incredible, especially Lafayette, how fast some of those lines come out. And I'm not even thinking about like facial expressions and stage positioning, so I have to wonder, I'm sure it's never happened, but should you fudge a line or just come out with how do you recover given how fast
You're right. You're right. It's never happened to me. You know what's funny? There's this old saying on Broadway, the show must go on. I have honestly only messed up Guns and Ships once.
Yeah.
And I say once because I never wanted to do it again.
Oh, no.
And it sounded as if someone had skipped the record. So I said, I'm taking this hook. I'm taking this hook. I'm taking this hook. I'm taking this hook. I'm taking, and I'm never going to. And I went on. And you could see the dancers going.
Oh, no.
And basically, once my brain rebooted, you just have to keep going. There is no stop.
Yeah.
And also, the way our band works, they just have to keep going.
You're on a train.
Literally, you were on a musical train that just goes. So once I messed up, I got it and kept stepping. So we've all had some kind of flubs. And the crazy thing is, with most musicals, most people don't know all the lyrics. This is Hamilton. Everybody knows every lyric. So you can see the whole audience do this collective, huh? So you just get back on it and go. And then we have this great thing on Instagram called #BursCorner. So if you guys want to go to it, #BursCorner, you get to see all of us discuss our mess ups because the Hamilton family is so big. The last thing you want is for someone to go out and start, scooping you on your own story, tweeting, "Ooh, Lafayette messed up tonight." So we quickly go backstage and tell the fans, "Yo, we messed up. This is what happened." They're like, "Oh, that's so funny." We're like, "Oh, cool. We got in front of it. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that happened
Rest of
recently.
you all perfect. Lovely.
No, definitely not.
Thanks for having this conversation with us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Several of you have mentioned, it's important to change the mind of people in the theater about who can play what, and we talked about, learning about the women behind the men throughout history, and anyone can play anyone. So how about women playing male roles?
But yeah, I didn't say that from the beginning. Go on. Okay,
So
go on.
I have a dream
Okay.
that one day Uzo Aduba will be Burr, because that will be the most
that would be
incredible thing.
She has to fight Cynthia Erivo. Cynthia wants it really
Look,
bad.
they can both do it back to back.
Really
I'm ready.
bad.
4 shows each,
Yes.
6 months each, whatever you want. I'm down to
Yeah.
watch. Just be at the gospel. That would be that experience, because hell
it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
it'll happen. I think.
I think
I
it'll
mean,
happen.
I'm not Bethany Knox or Chelsea Casting, but if you are Bethany Knox or Chelsea Casting,
Right.
you know,
I'll take a hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I was wondering if you could talk about what it's like interacting with the fans of the show, and how it's maybe different from other shows you've done, or if it's not different.
Oh my God.
I think it's really beautiful, like when you meet people, and like you hear like how long they've been waiting to see the show, and like you don't know like what they did to get there, and like what it means to them personally and stuff. So getting to talk to those people and just like see the light in their eyes and see what it means to them specifically is just so rewarding. And I also love like talking to like the little children. They're just so adorable, and I want to know like what they're seeing when they see the show. I loved this one time when I met this like little like 7-year-old boy, and I was like, "Hey, did you like the show?" And he was like, "Well, I liked Act 1." I was like, "Oh my God, what do you mean?" He was like, "Act 2 was really sad." I was like, "I know it was."
That's awesome. You know, I think what's interesting with our fans that's different from any other show is this new idea of fan art. I've never experienced fan art in any of my other shows where they draw you, and it's interesting because let's say I put up a picture with Joanna and Mandy Gonzalez, who plays Angelica. You know, a week later comes this like beautifully drawn art of the picture, and it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could buy these pictures and blow them up and put them on your wall. And I'm like, I don't know how. Does anybody know how to draw in here like really well?
This is Google.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Drawing for me is I don't know. I don't even know I don't know how it works. I can't wrap my head around it and how you could be so precise and perfect. And they're just fantastic. This new generation of children have been birthed of knowing how to draw. Apparently, it's amazing. And so in our the girls share a suite with 3 different rooms where our dressing rooms are, and we have a hallway, and so that's where we put all of our fan art there. So we have like a fan art wall, which is really beautiful.
They actually mail in the pictures?
They mail in the
Wow.
pictures.
Or they like come to the stage door with them.
Or they come to the stage door with them. Yeah.
There's a girl that has.
Alexis Ledger.
Is that the girl that I'm thinking of?
I don't know, but she's fantastic.
Are we thinking the same thing?
Probably.
There's this girl that literally, she's so sweet. I think she's from Czechoslovakia.
I know.
She comes with this, I'm talking like, I'm going to blow up the art. I want it. It's amazing. And I was like, you're an artist? She was like, no, I'm like studying medicine. I was like, what?
Whoa.
What do you mean? And I guess like the fact that your hand has to be so, I don't know, the preciseness of surgery and art. I don't know, but it's the art is incredible.
Oh,
and I think the most incredible thing is that our fan has no face or age or like race. It's just like a conglomerate of any type of person, and like there are people celebrating their 90th birthday at the show, and they're celebrating their 7th birthday, and you're like on the same line, and both of them ready to do my shot with us. Like, that's awesome. Where do you get that? Like, there's no, I haven't been in a show that has had that experience before. No. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. All right. So thank you.
Thank you.
Take our last question over here.
All right, last question. Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
She said no.
Okay, so I'll try to make mine quick, but it's kind of 2 parts. First part is you have this amazing experience now that has really elevated the voice, the perspective around theater, given your backgrounds, given the diversity of the cast. Being a Latina and tech myself, sometimes I feel like because I'm underrepresented in an environment like this, that I have a sense of responsibility, which I do, showing up authentically, showing up, with a purpose, unapologetically, but at the same time, having to be perfect. Do you get this same sense? Do you have those sentiments when you go and you are performing? Do you have this sense of responsibility and sense of having to be perfect?
Yeah, I 100% do. But I also think the ideal expectation of wanting to be perfect is also your demise. It's also your downfall. And I've learned that with this show, that when I took a back seat to not having to show up and try to be perfect, but just try to do the best that I can every day, then that's when I realize life and that fears have subsided, and that I can be who I am without necessarily being apologetic or feeling that I have to represent something a specific way every day, because we're all human and like we all make mistakes, and even though I'm of color, I'm trying my best to represent who I am with knowing that I'm not perfect. So so that's my advice, at least for this, is that, I come and do Hamilton, I tell this story, I do it to my best ability because I know that this message has to get there, but I'm the messenger.
Yeah. Second piece, if I may add. So now that we've talked about how this experience is really elevated, what's next for you?
Oh my God.
Now that you have this experience after Hamilton, let's say, do you have any idea in mind what you want to do next?
The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But I think we all have aspirations for more TV and film, and I will say this: the thing that is really weird is that now, reading a script, when it comes to me, if it's a theater script, I go, oh, but this isn't as good as Hamilton, so now what? And everything has to kind of rise to the occasion, and it's both amazing and horrible, because now I'm judging everything in a very different way, but it's just because Lynn wrote a dope musical, and why would I want to not do this? Now my aspiration is I want to skip into other roles, when are you bouncing?
But I also think as a society and what's going on right now in the world, and I feel like it's important to say this, is that the reason why there's 5 companies of Hamilton, that's there's one that's coming up in London and there's another second tour that's coming out, is that this message of this show needs to be told, especially with the times that we're living in right now. And so if you're not familiar with Hamilton, then I suggest that you buy the album and listen to the political views, because although we are a Broadway show, we are talking politics, and I think it's a really wonderful idea that as actors we've had the ability to be able to use Hamilton as a platform to share our personal views on politics, and you can very much see how we feel on Twitter about a lot of things, but and to be able to have the voice to be able to share what maybe you all are thinking as well, and you all may not necessarily have the voice to do that, and that's why I feel like things like with the NFL and things like that are going on, and I won't get into that, but that's why I think Hamilton's really important, so that we can share this message across the world. And so what's next is that I hope to continue sharing messages that will uplift and encourage, inspire in any way or any capacity someone to be their better selves.
And also, the main message, at least what I take from the show, is history has its eyes on you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that? As a person, you say that as a Latino woman, you feel that you have to come in here and be perfect. Just be you.
That's
just
perfect.
Well, pave the way.
Well, yeah, well, of
Yes,
course, yes.
paving the way.
Paving the way for other folks. But what's funny is history does have its eyes on you, and it sees what you're doing. And the way folks see you and what you bring to the table, they go, oh, cool, I met a girl like that. That's cool. That they see someone else that kind of maybe it looks similar and has your personality. They can go, oh, yeah, you know what? Yes. You know what I mean? So I feel that that's what the show says. The show says, what you're doing is not just not being seen by people. When you come to work, you're representing yourself, but also you're bringing your heritage with you. You're bringing your style. You're bringing your mom's views, your dad's views, your family's views, and those positive things are going to touch folks. And I think the reason why the 5 shows go out, they let people know, look, hey, you may disagree with me, but it's how you respond to the disagreement that people are going to remember. Not the fact that we had a disagreement. It's going to be how you responded to it. Well, are you going to do something positive, or are you going to go out there and act a fool? History has its eyes on you.
And
Folks
with
are
Google,
watching.
Google and Hamilton correlate very well together.
They're like
you guys are at the
sisters.
top of your game, and so are we. So, I would work for Google. I'm ready to come work for you. That's what I get. I want to be here.
You want to get that one more?
Yeah.
Get that one more? She got one more. Come on
question
up.
over here.
Thank you guys so much for being here today.
No problem.
So I want to ask, so growing up, studying theater, and even up until now, who have you looked up to, or who have influenced you, and how they, and what you learned from them, or whatever? How did that how did you bring that into your role?
I have a few folks. First, I gotta say, my mom was a music teacher for 38 years. She's retired now, and my dad was an actor in the 70s. So I always had this around the house. There was the way I act is just imagine a cookout. Just a bunch of Igleharts just all doing characters, being ridiculous and being stupid. That was my household. But there were certain people in musical theater that I looked up to. There was a guy named Ted Ross, who was the original Lion in the Wiz, who won the Tony Best Featured Actor in the Tony in 1979. Then there was Chuck Cooper, who won, I think, in 1996. He played in The Life. And then there was Brian Stokes Mitchell, Norm Lewis, all those guys. And what's funny is 3 of those guys I'm actually friends with, which is weird to like be in college and listen to the CDs and go, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool to like sing like those guys, and then be next to them and talk to them and have them talk to me. So they were great influences on what I do on this stage, but also guys I never thought, I didn't get to meet them, but I got to meet a couple of my heroes, Whoopi Goldberg, Billy Crystal, and I didn't get to meet Robin Williams, but I met folks that knew him, and folks that came to see Aladdin told me that he saw the clips, and he meet a lot of the heroes that I grew up looking up.
I think the most influential growing up was John Leguizamo for me. The things he did and the things he still continues to do are insane. Like there's no reincarnation of him. It won't happen. He is a master at what he does.
The best solo performer, period.
If you have not seen him do a solo show, I think HBO right now is HBO affiliated? I don't know. HBO has Ghetto Clown right now, and Ghetto Clown is phenomenal. He just tells the story of him growing up, but he plays every single person in his life. And it's like on the snap of or drop of a dime.
That's it, drop of a dime.
Drop of a dime, he's his mother, and then he's his grandfather, and then he's himself again, then he's his girlfriend. And it's insane. And I think watching him, all of his films growing up, my parents for some reason let me watch his films, which I was like, what are you doing?
Right.
But like 15-year-old watching Tu Wong Fu, I was like, I'm gonna be in drag one day and do that. Like I need to do that.
You realize when that musical comes out, you just can't.
From your mouth to everybody's ears, please. I'm ready. Yeah, he's the one for me. Yeah.
I think maybe vocally, like in musical theater, I'd have to say Audra McDonald and Barbra Streisand are the most like striking and like just really affected me growing up. The sounds and the excellence with which they work at, they're just the top for me. And Dame Judi Dench. Oh my goodness.
Word. Yes, that was nice. Britney Spears. I'm just.
I did it.
You know, I was when I was growing up. It was my parents were lucky. Like I didn't bother them. I kind of just like they were. It was interesting. They'd like give me Sound Music and like I'd put Sound of Music on repeat and like do everything that Julie Andrews was doing, and then I'd throw in Mary Poppins and do the same exact thing, and then I'd invite my friends over and get in costume and do the like reenact everything, and like that was me as a kid. And growing up multiracial, Mariah Carey was also super cool for me, but that was my thing. I was been a Broadway gal since I was little. I didn't even know what Broadway was. I was like, oh, they do what I do. So it's just
that does not shock me.
It's just been, yeah.
Thank you so much. So we're a little bit over time, so we'll wrap this up here. Visit them online, HamiltonBroadway.com. Tickets are on sale now, beginning in March 2018.
I didn't know that.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's real.
See you in 8 months.
Well, that's at least what the website.
$100. What? No.
Drag me if I'm wrong, anybody. Instagram and Twitter at Hamilton Musical. They're at the Richard Rogers Theater, 226 West 46th Street. I cannot thank you all enough. Thank you.